So recently I went to a renowned, quite famous restaurant in New York with 3 Michelin stars, and I never eat out at fancy restaurants of that caliber. In fact, that was the first ever time I'd been to a 3 Michelin star restaurant. And although I had a enjoyable experience, it was extremely expensive, which I'm okay with that, because food isn't just to fill me up. Food is an expression of creativity, is an art form in my eyes, so I'm okay spending the money. But the actual environment where we had the meal was so lifeless. I felt like I was in a waiting room or a lobby. There was no connection there to the natural world. Of course, I'm in New York City. It's not like the most natural place on earth, but we're eating food from the earth, and I'm sat in what feels very man-made. And that was probably my main gripe. I didn't feel comfortable in the surroundings. And I always refer back to something that I heard, I can't remember where it was, but and it's something that I will definitely do when I have a place where I can welcome guests to come and eat my food. But a restaurant for me should have the sound of water, whether that's from a water feature, a waterfall, or something that revolves around the sound of water, and the sight and smell of fire. When you have those 2 things, it makes you engage, it makes you excited to eat. And I think it's because there's something within us humans that it sort of tells us that we're ready to eat, or this is the right environment to enjoy food and enjoy the experience of eating. And I didn't get that at all from one of the best restaurants apparently in the world. It was a shame. So that reinstalled my passion for when I have somewhere to serve food, that I'll have an element of nature. Maybe the restaurant will be outside. Of course, the food will be grown on site, but I wanted to put together a series of recipes for you in today's video that encapsulate that. These are a load of recipes that I've cooked outside, a lot of them over fire. But I've realized, since reconnecting with the earth, being in tune with the seasons and growing my own food, that there's no better place to enjoy food than outside, particularly where I've grown it. So I hope you enjoy these recipes. Don't forget that food isn't just something that fills you up. It's a connection to the earth, it's to being human. And if you can, once in a while, take your food outside and enjoy it, or get a little fire pit like this and maybe think, tonight the weather's quite good, I'm going to cook my food outside. I promise you, the chore of cooking, it's not a chore for me, but most people it is, will become fun and enjoyable. So enjoy the recipes. Oh yes, these are lovely and tender now. Oh, the smell is oniony deliciousness. I've got a lovely sauce to dip these in. This is how you eat them apparently. If you've never heard of calcots, get ready for the love story between fire, smoke and flavour. Picked 5 minutes ago, charred on the fire and dunked in sauce. Messy but unbelievable. Wow. It feels like only yesterday that these leeks were tiny little slithers of leeks planted into the ground. That was probably August time. Now we have something decent to harvest. Yes, that is a beautiful leek. Now I could leave this in the ground to grow on and get even fatter, but I've got a recipe to make with these now, inspired by Catalan calcots, which are long onions where they basically burn their calcots and then they finish them cooking in newspaper. They steam cook. So that's what I'm doing with these skinny leeks today. Now, because we're charring the outer layer, you don't really need to clean these up too much. I'll trim them up over there, but the outer layer is going to get completely charred. So legend has it, there was a farmer in the Catalan, and when he was planting his onions one year, accidentally planted them too deep, and that actually turned into a happy mistake. The onions grew longer, more tender, more sweeter, and more delicious. And now there's full-blown rituals and festivals celebrating calcots, these long, weird, happy mistake onions. So each year they have these celebrations where they cook their calcots over fire until they're charred and then finish the cooking process in newspaper. It sounds like a great tradition to me. I'm going to try and do this exact same technique with my leeks. So let's get these on the fire now until completely blackened. It seems weird, but it's going to work. This feels weird, but the smell already is great. Wow, they're cracking, they're popping, they're starting to blacken, and the smell of onion, or leek in my case, is unreal. Let's flick these over. Yes, that's what we want. Absolutely amazing. I think these leeks are going to work perfectly, just like calcots. So these are basically done now. You can't get blacker than that, really. And now they need to go into their second phase of cooking, which is inside some newspaper. That's what they do with calcots. I don't want my food to touch newspaper, so I'm actually going to do it in greaseproof paper first, wrap them up and let them steam to finish cooking. This is well worth buying a newspaper. I haven't bought a newspaper in years, because why would I? But this is worth it. It's time now. Let's unwrap these. Oh yes, these are lovely and tender now. Oh, the smell is oniony deliciousness. I've got a lovely sauce to dip these in. We've got to peel off that charred layer and dip that tender flesh in the sauce and taste. Okay, this is how you eat them apparently. Picked 5 minutes ago, charred on the fire, wrapped in newspaper and dunked in sauce. Delicious. Thank you calcots for the inspiration. This is a beautiful marriage between Catalan and Wales. Wow. There's something almost primal about the hunt for mushrooms in the wild. It's not just about foraging, it's about the journey. Traversing through the damp, earthy woodlands, the scents similar to what you'd experience at a luxury spa, and the birds in harmonious song around us. With each careful step is a chance to strike gold. Often the mushrooms will smartly disguise themselves among the thick layer of fallen leaves. I've been unsuccessful so many times mushroom hunting, and that's what makes it so rewarding when you finally find some. Today, my mushroom foraging friend Rue and his little dog Betty and myself were on the hunt to find some of the last mushrooms of the winter. Yeah, here's another trooping funnel, and it's a giant, beautiful specimen. There's 3 in a row. They're like mushroom guards guarding this area. I love how they just grow in lines as well.
Yeah.
Yes, Rue, a hedgehog, our first.
That's it.
And there's one there too.
Let's have a look.
They almost look like oystery, lobstery looking things, don't they?
Until you flip them over and you can see why they're called hedgehog mushrooms.
Hopefully we'll fill this basket up and I can make you a delicious meal.
Please.
Let's keep looking. Oh, there's loads of shroom action going on down here.
Yeah, I can see lots of glowing white bits. Yes.
Spotted something.
You can see there's one here actually, but there's a pile over there.
Oh, there's loads.
And these are wood bluets.
Oh yes.
And they've got a grey sort of lilac-y tinge.
I love the look of those gills.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So we can eat these?
Yeah, and you know, we haven't had much luck with the hedgehogs yet, but at least we got them. So it's something that makes it worth the while, right?
Bulk out my dish. All right, let's pick a few of these then. And this is what we're talking about when we're talking about disguising the mushrooms. It's either a little porcini or a bay bolete.
Oh yeah.
It's a work of art, that is.
Good spot, and we struck lucky again because look, this is what we came out for.
Yes. Oh guys, I can't wait to show you how these look when you're cooking them. Almost like scallopy. Oh, we got a bit of dappled sunroof.
Oh.
The heavens have opened, they are beautiful.
What a scene.
Beautiful.
What a scene.
There's nothing better than nature. This is turning into a lovely little harvest room. This is going to feed us for the weekend.
We're going to eat today.
I think one thing we need to mention as well, in terms of collecting mushrooms, you never want to take all of them, do you? We need to leave some.
Take a few and then leave a few as well.
Yeah, definitely. And also what we're doing here is actually prepping them in the forest so that none of the mud spreads around all of the harvest, but also all the little trimmings are going right back into the soil.
Yeah, there's plenty here to feed all the little creatures that live on this floor and keep the nutrients in the forest.
Beautiful. So I dropped out of school at age just 16 to become a chef. I had no plan B whatsoever, just this desire to work with food, work in the kitchens, because that's where I felt I belonged. And here I am years later, holding something that was just a thought that has become reality now. This is my new book, Plant to Plate. It's moments like this that remind me our thoughts shape our reality. What we nurture in our minds, our dreams, our skills, our intentions will grow. This book is a way of seeing food differently, a way of working with nature and not against it. Inside you'll learn not only how to cook, but my growing tips, fermentation, foraging, herbalism, preservations, stories from my homestead, and how to truly understand ingredients. I hope this takes you on a journey of turning just simple vegetables into something alive through cooking over fire, through fermentation and time and patience. So it will mean the absolute world to me if you can support me on this journey by ordering the book. You can pre-order it now and it's out end of May, early June. So please grab a copy. Hopefully it will transform your cooking and your connection to food. Thank you. That was actually really successful. You got a nice big bag too.
Yeah. Good weight on this.
All right, should we get a fire going, Roo?
Do it. Let's do it.
Let's cook these mushrooms up.
Oof.
There you go. Got some really dry leaves.
So dry.
2 guys, 1 fire.
And lots of smoke.
All right, so these beautiful mushrooms we picked, I want to do something a little bit different with them today. And I've got my homemade miso paste, so I think I'm gonna make a lovely rich broth. Warm in, it's cold. But before we do that, I want to get some lovely caramelization on the mushrooms. So into a mixing bowl with the torn up mushrooms, I'm going to add some chopped ginger, garlic and chili from my garden. We'll get those tossed up with some soy sauce and into my really hot pan. Just get all of that flavour over everything. How good does that smell already? It's wafting towards me.
Oh.
So I really want this ripping hot now, so I want to get some caramelization on everything. I want to build like a base layer of flavor on the bottom of the pan, so that when we deglaze it with our stock after, that's all going to come into that broth. We need to get this ripping. We need to get some more heat there.
There you go. Nothing like a Welshman's breath to get the fire going.
Oh yeah, that's ripping now. Oh, it smells good.
A couple more twigs for you there.
Now we're cooking, guys. It's a bit windy, so it's not getting as hot as I wanted, which means they're sort of stewing a bit more, but that's going to add a lovely flavour to the broth. It's camping. We're camping, aren't we? It's not going to be perfect Michelin star. Just got to roll with the punches. It's looking good though, and it's smelling good. Oh yeah. All right, so let's intensify this a little bit. I've got some seaweed flakes here. Let's get some of those in. They'll just rehydrate in the broth. Next into the pot, I'm going to add some bashed up lemongrass. Plus, I'll whisk together some of my homemade miso paste with some hot water. Once that's well incorporated, I'll add that to my pot.
So how do you make your own miso?
This miso actually took 9 months to make. It's been a labour of love.
A miso baby.
Miso baby. It actually is. And I could have left it longer and it would have got more intense, but I was impatient. But it was just a mixture of koji, which is the inoculated grain, mixed with some cooked soybeans. And I just blended it all up, packed into a jar, and then let it ferment for 9 months. And now we're using it. It's got that rich umami-ness, and it's going to be beautiful in this. And we actually don't want this to boil too much now, because that will kill off some of the goodness, the good bacteria in here. So we can actually let this go a bit cooler, which is good for you guys, because you can actually see what's in the pot now, because it's been so steamy. Now that we've added the miso, let's add some vegetable stock and let the broth gently simmer away and intensify for at least 15 minutes.
I got you a few things from the garden to prettify it.
Oh yeah? Oh, look at you with your flowers.
Got some fennel flowers, some nasturtium leaves, some
Beautiful.
borage.
Oh,
Last remnants of summer.
nice. Yeah, I think the nasturtium, that peppery wasabi flavour is going to be perfect with this. Thank you very much.
So what part of the world are these flavours coming from, Gaz?
It's inspired by Asia.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing better than aromatics on a cold day. And I think the aromatics with the earthy mushrooms is a marriage made in heaven.
Oh, that is so rich. That's exactly what you want on a day where
It's
it seems to be
surprising.
going from warm to freezing.
Yeah, it's those mushrooms, the way they just release all that flavour early on is intensified it. Just before serving, I'm going to stir through some coconut cream, break in some pak choi leaves, and then serve up.
So you add a nice bit of freshness to the dish with that.
Yeah, nice crunch. Add them last minute just so they don't overcook. And I'm also going to get some coriander in as well.
Oh, my favourite.
Oh, look at this root. Let's give that coriander a nice little stir in.
This looks absolutely delicious.
It's really come together now, and it's basically ready to serve up.
It's looking
I think
great.
we get that into some bowls. Now this is something you could do with noodles or rice or something like that too, but this is going to be so hearty now. All right, so we're going to top this beautiful broth now with some of my homemade fermented hot sauce, which I'm so excited about, and the recipe is on my Instagram if you want it. Plus we've got some of those lovely flowers that Rue picked and some sesame seeds. Let's serve it up now. I am hungry and I'm cold, so this is the ideal meal. And finally, a little sesame oil. Well, thank you for this. Cheers.
Cheers.
This should warm our little cockles up.
Oh,
it's really good.
the lemongrass.
Oh, that is. And the mushrooms are meaty.
Oh, I love that chilli. I've not had that yet. That hot sauce.
I think your miso and the coconut milk has given it a really nice creamy texture as well. Delish.
One pot meal as well.
So easy.
Hitting all the boxes.
Yeah.
You just have to go and forage your mushrooms. Delicious. Oh wow, there's nothing better than a juicy blackberry when they come into season late summer. Now my mum and I always pick blackberries together. It's a lovely little tradition we have, and so often I'll just freeze the blackberries to last me months and months and months depending on how many I've managed to pick. But also I'll make things like jam and crumbles and whatnot, but I wanted to make something savoury with blackberries. So I thought, they are very tangy. They got a nice little sour note to them depending on which variety you get and how ripe they are. So why not try and make a blackberry barbecue sauce? And it turned out spectacular. So to make this blackberry barbecue sauce, get an onion, some garlic and a chilli. Chop them up roughly and get them sweating down slowly in a saucepan. You want to let them release all the sweetness that's locked within inside them. Nice and chunky. It's going to be very chunky, this ketchup. Then I'm going to add some spices. I'm actually using whole spices because I want that running through this barbecue sauce beautifully. So I'm going to add some mustard seeds, some fennel seeds, cumin seeds, plus some ground coriander and some smoked paprika. Now let those spices cook for a little while. You want to toast them and let them release their aromatic flavors. I'll also season with some celery salt, then for some umami, a dollop of tomato paste and miso paste. All right, this needs some herbs. I reckon some fresh sage from the garden and some thyme too. And then we're going to add the blackberries. All right, let's drain off our blackberries. These are just jewels. Look how beautiful they are. So to help preserve this sauce, I need to add some sugar and white wine vinegar. Also, that acidity is what every barbecue sauce needs. Throw in a couple bay leaves and a star anise, then get the lid on and let the sauce bubble away for about 20 minutes. All right, Mother, 2 jars, one for you.
Oh my God.
One for me. You can put it on. You could bake some mushrooms or grill some mushrooms and spread this on, or you can just use it as a dip for your lovely chips.
Oh, that's great. And you put it for Mum.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks for picking them for me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy, love.
Thank you, Lilo. I'll take that home and eat it all.
Oh my word, what have I created? I literally just want to bite this. This is incredible. All right, let's cut this bad boy up. Oh, it's juicy inside. I can see pieces of garlic running through it too. Homegrown everything. This has got to be good. Bellissimo. Oh, that is sensational. I am so excited. The first ever aubergine that I've ever grown is ready to be plucked and cooked. Yeah, boy. Oh, look at that baby. That is quite heavy actually. And look at that beautiful, vibrant purple color. I honestly cannot quite believe that I've managed to grow this. And there's loads more. This one's just ready to be picked. I can't cut it. What a thing of beauty. I don't want to cook it really, it just looks too beautiful. I want to keep it as a memento. So fresh, but we got to do it. Let's get cooking. All right, so how am I gonna cook this? I'm actually gonna whole roast and fry this aubergine and make a sort of deconstructed eggplant parm. This is a real celebration of my first aubergine. So what I'm gonna do first is actually make some incisions into this beautiful aubergine with a sharp knife, and then place different herbs from the garden and garlic inside those incisions. I'll then wrap it in some foil, drizzle over some oil and some homemade celery salt and pepper, and then get it into my oven. So I'm just hoping that this garlic and the herbs that we insert into these little incisions sort of melt into the flesh as it's cooking slowly. I'm going to put this aubergine actually on the hot coals of my fire, but you can just put yours in a hot conventional oven in the kitchen, set about 180 degrees, something like that, and just let it roast for about 45 minutes. That is bubbling away already. Every eggplant parm needs a really good tomato sauce, and luckily enough, I've got some tomatoes ripe for the picking, so we'll make a tomato sauce with them. And of course, basil goes so well with tomatoes. Let's get some of that. Now, to make a traditional tomato sauce, what you would do is blanch these tomatoes to remove the skin, but I'm quite hesitant to do that because they're my precious tomatoes. I just want to use the whole tomato. What I'll do to negate any bits of skin in the sauce is going to pulse it with my hand blender once it's cooked down. So to make it this cheats tomato sauce, I'm going to finally chop up some onion and some garlic, both from the garden, which I harvested recently. Get them sauteing for a number of minutes, about 5 minutes, until they've really released all their sweetness. We'll add some salt, and then I'll add my chopped tomatoes and let them cook down slowly with the lid on the pan so they steam and they release all of their natural juices that's locked within inside them. I'll then add some sugar for some extra sweetness and a little bit of acidity. I'll add some white wine vinegar too. We'll then pulse it with my hand blender and add some of that fresh basil. Aubergine's been in for about 45 minutes. Let's get it out and check it. Oh, yes, this is almost like gone confit, which is when you cook something in oil slowly. It's super soft, and yes, those bits of garlic and herbs have almost melted into it. Oh, it smells good. A little smoky from the fire. I'm gonna let this completely cool before coating it in my breadcrumbs. So that's my homegrown tomato sauce done. It's still a little chunky, but that's exactly how I like it. It's not perfect, it's rustic. We've got the seeds in there still, but it's fine. I'm gonna tear in some of my homegrown basil and then make a luxurious cheese sauce to complete the eggplant parm. So for my cheesy sauce, first thing I'm gonna do is get an onion and finely chop that. I'll get that sweated down in my pan in a little butter. I'm using some non-dairy butter. Once the onion is softened, I'll stir in some flour. Now this is called a roux, and it's going to help thicken the sauce up beautifully. Then we'll deglaze the pan with some milk. Again, I'm using dairy free. Now that should be thick and creamy, and I'll use my whisk to make sure there's no lumps. I'm going to stir in some garlic powder, some miso paste, and some white pepper. I'll then stir through my secret ingredient, which is nutritional yeast. This has an incredible cheesy, nutty flavour, and a squeeze of lemon juice to add a nice tang. So I got some friends coming soon and I really want them to try this, but one of them can't have gluten. So I was thinking, what can I use instead of breadcrumbs for the coating? All I had in my house was cornflakes. These are gonna actually work fine. They're just not really aesthetically pleasing right now, but they're already really crisp, so they're gonna add a super crisp coating to the outside of this aubergine. So I'm going to crush these up now, and then I'm going to whisk together some flour and some water with a little oil. That's going to help stick those cornflakes to the aubergine, and to help that batter also stick to the aubergine, we're going to have to dust the aubergine in a little flour first too. It's so handy that there's a nice stalk to use to move it between plate to plate. Now that's lovely and coated, it's got to go into the cornflakes now. I'm actually quite nervous. This is going to be quite delicate, but it's time to fry it. I'm going to shallow fry it. My oil's hot because you can see the bubbles around the wooden part of my spider. We're going to cook this until it's crisp and golden. I assume this will take about 4 to 5 minutes, and I'll turn it every now and then. Let's carefully get this in the oil. Ooh. Oh my word, what have I created with my first ever aubergine that I've grown? This is incredible. So crisp as well. Just got my basil for garnish, and it's time to plate up! First thing on the base of my plate, my amazing homegrown tomato sauce. Plenty of that sauce on the base here. I literally just want to bite this, but I got to serve this up properly. Guys, look at this. This is a way to celebrate my first aubergine. Bit of cracked black pepper on top, and I'm going to garnish with a bit of fresh basil, plus I got some homegrown fermented tomatoes. All right, let's cut this bad boy up. Oh, it's juicy inside. I can see pieces of garlic running through it too.
Oh, wow.
I am desperate to give this a taste. This has got to be good. Absolutely bellissimo. Homegrown everything. Oh, that is sensational. Mum, you've got to try some of this.
That's fantastic. That's lovely.
Delicious. Dad, come and try this. I'm crafting the perfect mouthful. I've been growing my food for the last 3 years, but there's something that's been on my mind for the whole time. A phenomenon of this mystical creature, this garden gnome almost. Sometimes this gnome just pops up in your garden out of nowhere. And today I discovered him going by the name of Hugh Richards amongst the parsnips. Hugh, have you ever heard or tried a pizza before?
What, the party island?
Yes, it's a dish inspired by the party in Ibiza.
Okay.
No, actually, this is a pizza made with beets.
All right.
So it's called a pizza. I've got pink dough and everything. I had to use up my beetroot
Feeling
somehow.
inspired.
Yeah, you're going to be in Barbie world after
Oh
this.
dear. Oh no, help.
I'm on a slope, guys, all right?
Yeah, we know.
All right, so we are making pizza, which means we need some beetroot dough. Look at the color on that. I made this earlier and I've got it risen. It is absolute, it's like we're in Barbie world.
Go on, sing it.
I'm not singing Barbie world. So before I roll this into some balls for our pizza, I'm gonna make a lovely beetroot sort of ketchup that's gonna top the pizza. It's gonna be our base. It's gonna be absolutely tangy and delicious and hopefully a little pink too. First up, I'm gonna chop up some of my homegrown onions, which I harvested earlier, some garlic, and I'm gonna get that sweated down in my pan with some spices too. And then we'll add our chopped beetroot. I'm adding some smoked paprika, some ground cumin, and some fennel seeds. It's nice cooking in the greenhouse, isn't it? So my onions are lovely and golden now, and the spices have roasted nicely, so I'm going to add the beetroot at this stage, and I'll just cut it into some chunks. So pop the lid on the pan and let the beetroot cook down before adding some sugar and some vinegar. And a pinch of salt. That'll bring out all the flavours, and lid back on, we'll just let that cook down slowly. Hopefully I don't have to blend this up and it sort of mashes down and creates a lovely luxurious sort of sticky sauce, beetroot sauce. In the meantime, I'm gonna ball up my pizza dough, my pink dough. I'm amazed at this. Oh, yes. Look at my pink dough. Could you put that somewhere warm? Maybe on your lap or something. So we've got my dough nearly ready. We've got the lovely beet sauce that's going on top of the dough basically done. But now I need some kind of cheesy element, but obviously I keep my cooking dairy free. So how am I gonna do that? I'm gonna make a lovely, rich, creamy sauce infused with miso paste, mustard, beer, and nutritional yeast, which has this nutty, cheesy flavor. First up, we want to get some leek and some garlic sweated down. All right, if you want to stop things having a pink tinge to it, then put a bit of greaseproof paper on your board. My leeks are basically pink now because I didn't do that. And my hands are pink. We don't mind a bit of pink, do we, guys? Guys, and some sage, forgot to add that, plus some salt. Then we'll add the flour. It's wet and alcoholic.
Yeah, I'm keen.
You can have it. That's why I was drinking it like that. So after adding the beer, I'm adding some beautiful whole grain mustard and some miso paste, which is going to add that real umami punch that a cheese sauce should have. And now I'm going to add some lovely milk, and we're going to turn this into a proper sauce. So there we go, guys. Here's my cheesy, creamy sauce. The only thing that I'm going to add now, and this will actually make it cheesy, is the nutritional yeast, plus a little bit of white pepper. Hugh, I need you to have a little taste. Tell me what you think.
Oh. Can I just eat that?
Yeah.
It's needs maybe a little bit more acidity.
Bit of lemon juice.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to add next. All right, guys, I'm going to need some guys. All right, guys, I'm going to need a hand lighting this fire in the rain. Come with me, give me a hand.
Excuse me.
So Hugh and Sam are looking after the fire. I'm picking some runner beans and I'm going to roast these with some candy beet, the courgette that I harvested, and some more onion. Chop them up first, get them in a little bit of olive oil and seasoning into that oven, and then we'll roll out our pizzas. It's nice having some helpers sorting the fire out whilst I can just focus on the cooking. I'm also just adding the greens of the onion because they have a beautiful flavour. But I just wanted to check to see if my golden beets are ready, because they're babies, but they'll look lovely on top of the pizza. Yeah, I think I can get these on. Yeah, look at these lovely little golden beets. Babies. I'm going to get some of these herbs on first, some lovely marjoram, which includes the flowers. All right, let's get it in the oven. All right, now we wait for these to cook and then we can build our pizzas. All right, let's check on this veg. Oh yes, just cooked down. It's going to be the perfect topping. Let's go build some pizzas, guys. Some pizzas! Sam, can you pass me my Barbie dough? Let's have a look at this. Oh, yes. Look at them. All right, let's just make a pizza then. Oh, it's lovely dough. I just love fluffy dough. A lovely sticky beet sauce. We get our lovely beet, chunky, sticky, beety, saucy stuff on top.
Very descriptive.
Yeah. All right, so we get some of this lovely veg on too. Just picked, just roasted. And then our cheese sauce, a few dollops of this.
Yes, please.
This should actually caramelize, a few dollops. Bit of oil on top. A bit of garlic powder, and then a bit of nasturtium salt that I made.
Oh, nice.
Right, let's make the run to the oven in the rain, but we need to get this cooking. Oi. Can you imagine I fell? Yes, she came off. Now we wait, guys, for our Barbie pizza. I love watching pizzas cook. Let's give this a spin. Oh, look at that though. It's holding on to its pinkness. Right, Hugh, I think the pizza's nearly done. Do you mind grabbing me some of the lovely pink flowers for me? That'll be a lovely garnish. It's coming out.
Still pink.
Yeah, it's still pink and it's nice and crispy.
Wow.
Let's take it up and give it a taste. So just garnishing with a few of those pink marjoram flowers and some nasturtium leaf. All right, should we give the pizza a taste?
Yes. This is definitely a first for me.
Yeah, same. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming all this way. Look at the crust.
That is
It is
insane.
vibrant pink. All right,
Cheers,
cheers, enjoy.
Wow. Can you open a pizza restaurant, please?
I think that's good. Just pizza.
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm very, very impressed.
Thank you for teaching me how to grow food to make this possible.
Fair exchange.
Guests don't often visit me because I'm so rural, but today is an exception, which is a nice exception, and it's an opportunity for me to showcase my amazing produce that I'm growing and not use any other ingredients from outside sources, which is exciting. I've got these amazing runner beans growing here, and I got inspired by a lovely Greek dish called fasolakia, probably messing up pronunciation again. So I'm gonna do a dish inspired by that, but I'm gonna turn it into a bake to make it more hearty and substantial. It's basically green beans cooked in a tomato sauce. I got homegrown tomatoes, I got beans, I got onions. Let's make a lovely rich green bean bake. I'm gonna top it with some finely sliced homegrown yellow zucchini, potato, tomato. Get that baked. It's gonna crispen up, go all delicious on top, all caramelized and golden. I think that'll be a nice treat for my lovely guests. So for the base, of course, we're gonna need some homegrown onion. Let's pick some of those and chop them really fine. Plus my homegrown garlic. I'll mince that up nicely. And I'm gonna pick some of my celery. I haven't actually harvested any celery on camera yet for you guys, but I often will just juice celery, and I pick the outer leaves or the outer stalks. It's so abundant, and celery is one of my favorite things to add to bases of sauces because it's got such a rich, punchy, aromatic flavor. And most really good stocks will have celery in it, so it's important in this dish for me. If you juice celery, you will be reaping the benefits. Not only is it super hydrating, but so many incredible vitamins and minerals. And I use these leaves for my celery salt. I just dry them out, grind them up and mix them through some salt. But for now, because I've got so much of them, I'm gonna give these to my chickens. I'm just gonna chop up my celery really fine. Whilst my onion, garlic and celery are sweating down and releasing all the sweetness that's locked within inside them, I'm gonna chop up some homegrown tomatoes to make the base of my tomatoey tangy sauce. The sun is out, it's shining at last. We have had a terrible summer apart from probably 3 good weeks where it was hot. It's just been raining and miserable for a long time. The sun is shining on me right now, it feels beautiful. Cooking my tomatoes, lovely stuff. I'm gonna add some of my celery salt, some cracked black pepper and some dried oregano to the pan now. I'm gonna add a splash of water before grabbing my beans. What I love about beans is that the more you pick, the more they produce. So I need to keep coming up with recipes for them. Sourcing inspiration from all around the world. Today we're doing Greece, which is lovely. I love Greece. And I'm sure this is going to be delicious with my homegrown beans. I've got beans dotted all around the garden actually, just because they're very easy to grow. And they are absolutely delicious, just fresh eaten like this. These runner beans are absolutely delicious. They taste like summer. All I'm going to do with these beans is just chop the ends off and shred them really fine. What I love about cooking is that there's no rules whatsoever. What I'm going to do actually before I get my beans into the tomato base here, I'm going to saute them. I want to add a bit of almost golden char in, not necessarily char, but caramelization to them first before they go in. I think that will just add a new depth of flavour to them. Before I get them into the cast iron pan, I'll add a little olive oil, a clove of garlic and a sprig of rosemary just to infuse into the oil. When they've done their job, I'll remove them and add my beans. Oh yeah, I'm glad I did this. Smells so good. It's like barbecuing them first. Let's add a generous pinch of salt as they're cooking. So I'm going to get these lovely sautéed, slightly charred runner beans into my tomato sauce now. I've noticed one issue that I may have. There's not that much sauce, but I only have so many ripe tomatoes at the minute, and I can't get some from the supermarket. I can't use a jar or tin of chopped tomatoes because this video is only produce from my garden, so we'll have to make it work. I'm actually happy with the amount of sauce here. Every bit of bean has got a lovely coating of the tomato, and I'll pop the lid on this pan now and let this cook down gently, and that will release even more liquid, moisture, steam, and we'll trap that in there to create more of a sauciness to this. So whilst the beans are cooking away, I need a giant courgette to top it with, and I think I've got some monsters at the minute. This is just taken over, but I found a giant one. One sec, let me get this, it's so deep in there. Yeah, I got it. I've caught a big one, boys. I've caught a big one, guys. Look at that. That'll be the perfect topping. Oh yeah. Time to get my beans in my dish and top it with my lovely toppings. So I'm just going to alternate between the courgette, potato and tomato. Look at that, that is a celebration of my homegrown produce to a T. There is, what, how many different ingredients in there that I've grown myself? I'm very, very proud considering I'm a beginner gardener. This now needs to bake in the oven until crisp and caramelized on top. It should take about 25 minutes, but I'm going to do that when my guests arrive. Really try not to fall over with this. Here we go, my lovely guests. Everything in here is from the garden. And there's also some greens from the garden too, which I just steamed off. Definitely rising. Worth the pain. Oh, I'm so excited. That is unbelievable. If I gave this to someone to eat in an Indian restaurant, if they were ordering chicken, they would not know any different. Thank you, Chicken of the Woods. So this is Chicken of the Woods mushroom. Now, legend has it that the gods of the woodlands and the forests would take pity on villagers and people that live nearby in times of scarcity, and they would gift the people with this incredible mushroom. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals to nourish the body, and they say whoever eats it gets the strength of the fallen oak tree or whatever tree it's grown on to help them survive those harsh and scarce times. Now, as you can see, it's almost like levels, like shelves on this tree, and that's another name for it, sulfur shelf for some reason. And as you can see, that's all I'm taking from this area. We'll leave that for the flora and fauna and whatever else needs to be done with that mushroom. I cannot believe this. I love foraging. So here's my incredible Chicken of the Woods mushroom that we harvested yesterday. We've made a schnitzel with them and it blew my mind. The taste and texture is mind-blowing. It's so much like chicken, that's why it's got the name Chicken of the Woods. Today though, I think it's got the power, it's got the strength, it's got the meatiness to hold up to some bold, strong spices. So I'm actually going to try and make my version of a classic Indian dish, butter chicken. Butter chicken originated in Delhi in the 1940s, and it was actually created to make something out of waste. So leftover meats that were cooked in the tandoor oven were thrown into a creamy, luscious gravy, really, with cream in it and butter in it and nuts. I'm going to be using cashew nuts today. And it resulted in this really indulgent dish that spread all across the world. I think these mushrooms, like I said, have got the power to infuse and to soak up those spices. The first thing we want to do is marinate the mushrooms. I'm going to get them into my bowl, I'm going to tear them into the bowl and add some coconut yogurt and then some beautiful spices. I'm adding some garam masala, which is one of my favorite spice blends, some turmeric powder, some cumin, some ground coriander, and then some heat. I'm adding some red chili powder. We'll also add some sea salt, some minced garlic, and some minced ginger. Oh, they look unbelievable already. Now they're going to absorb loads of those spices, I'm sure of it. I think they've got the texture to do that. just to help freshen this and just give it a lift. I think adding lemon juice to marinades is so important. So we'll add a generous squeeze of lemon juice, and then we'll set this aside for 15 to 20 minutes to marinate. The longer the better, really. And during that time, I'm going to preheat my pan on my wood fire stove. But you can just do this at home, you know, just preheat your oven or your pan on top of your stove, get it nice and warm, ready to cook these. We want to try and create almost a tandoori effect. That's why I'm using my wood-fired oven. Full written recipe is on the website as usual. All right, so let's get the mushrooms cooking. This is exciting. Get some oil in the pan. You would do this just on your stove, and then we'll get those mushrooms charring and lovely and golden. Oh yes, now we're cooking. And the beauty of cooking it over fire like this is going to recreate that tandoori effect. It's going to have some sort of wood smoke infusion into it. So I'm going to utilize that. I'm going to get them cooking on top first. I'm going to get a lovely bit of colouring on the outside and then get them inside the oven. At home, if you're doing this on a stovetop inside your kitchen, just make sure you're getting the mushrooms really golden. You don't need to put them into the oven. And that's the beauty of this wood fire though, is that infusion of the smoke. I'm excited about this, and it smells incredible already. Oh, I could sit by this fire all day smelling this mixture of this wood fire smoke and those spices just caramelizing all around those amazing mushrooms. They're in there for about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to now prepare the creamy, luxurious sauce that these mushrooms are going to run through. First up, I'll just chop up my onions roughly. I'll get them sauteing in my pan on top of the stove. You would just do this over a medium heat with a little oil and, of course, butter. I'm using plant butter. I'm going to throw in some garlic puree and some ginger, plus some finely chopped green chilies. We'll cook those down for about 10 minutes to release all of their sweetness, and all of that caramelly flavour is going to be beautiful in the curry. Then we'll add some more spices. Onions are looking lovely and golden. Let's get some spices in, same as before, but I am going to add some fenugreek as well, which is one of my favourite spices in the world. So we'll get some of these in now. So I'm going to let my spices cook for a few minutes before adding a pinch of sea salt, some tomato paste, some cashew nuts for the creaminess, and a splash of water once those cashew nuts have had a little bit of time to get some colour on them. All right, so this is going to get blended up now, but before I blend it, let's mix some oat cream into it. All right, hopefully this doesn't splash me everywhere. If it does, I'm going to transfer it to a bowl, then blend it. We'll see. I've got a cream jumper on. Yeah, we're going to transfer it to a bowl, guys. There we go, much safer. All right guys, I think I've made it unscathed. There's nothing on me. I did a good job there. But don't advise wearing cream, but as you know, I always do it. So This actually, with authentic butter chicken recipes, often this is passed through a sieve to get the most luxurious smooth texture. I'm not going to bother with outside. I'm just going to get this back in my pan now over the heat, and then we will introduce that chicken. Oh yes, look at them. They are so meaty. Oh, these are going to be brilliant inside there because all of those spices and that tandoori smoky flavour is going to be infused into that. Let's get them in. This is just unbelievable. Look at that. Amazing. So creamy, and those chunks of mushroom. Chicken of the woods mushroom is phenomenal. I can't wait to taste this. Let's cook that for a few minutes. Just before serving my butter chicken, I'm going to stir through a knob of butter. I just can't get over how good this looks, and the chunks of that chicken of the woods mushroom. I'm going to pick some of my coriander from the garden, sprinkle that over, and give this a taste. All right, let's get this over. Oh, this is amazing. I can't resist just a little drizzle of oat cream over the top. Gosh, I was so excited about this. I didn't even think about serving it with anything. I haven't got any rice, I haven't got any bread, but I don't think I need anything. Let's just taste this. Let's sit in the garden. Oh, I'm so excited. This is like a real rare occasion. It's a rare treat. The fact that this chicken of the woods showed up, I was able to find it, and I'm able to cook with it and sort of honor it and not rush and create something that doesn't really, I don't know, just celebrate this incredible blessing that I've managed to get. So here it goes. This is my butter chicken of the woods. I'm so excited. Oh my God. I just had a memory of when I was a kid eating chicken at an Indian restaurant, because what I love about Indian cuisine and the use of the tandoor is the fact that it dries the chicken but keeps it succulent on the center, so it's like really meaty, and all those spices obviously are absorbed and you've got the sort of scent to the smoke. But it's done the exact same with this chicken of the woods mushroom. It's made it 10 times meatier than it ever was before. I cannot quite believe this. I gotta have another piece. Oh. I cannot believe this. Wow. I feel so lucky, honestly, to be able to find that chicken of the woods mushroom. Thank you to my friend Josie and her daughter Summer for giving us the treasure map to find it. I am so overjoyed. This is incredible. Thank you to India and that part of the world for the inspiration that I always get from the incredible spices that you have. My spice drawer is packed full always because I'm so inspired, and my mouth is having a party right now. Thank you, chicken of the woods. Woohoo! Yeah, boy. Oh, so many layers. Oh, here we go. Oh my God. That is a naughty, naughty treat. Wow. This is sensational. Wow. So a lot of you guys always ask me how much time I actually spend in this garden to grow my food. It's a good question, and it's actually hard for me to quantify. I would say it's probably around 6 hours a week, and that is spread out. So often I'll have like half an hour spare in the evening one day and I'll go in, and some days I have no time in the week and I'll just do a full day on the weekend. It's so fun. I love it. It's my passion, and I don't mind sparing the time. I'd rather be in the garden than go into a social event. And for me also, it's a huge investment in my future. I know I'm gonna, that work is gonna equal getting beautiful, delicious, nourishing food in the future. And I won't have to go to the supermarket too. But I'm learning there's certain plants that I can put in the ground where I don't have to do any work to it, and it just keeps on producing stuff. Let's take this kale in this bed, for example. I've got a few different varieties, starting with some variegated kale. Now this is so exciting. It's also called frostbitten kale, and it's got this beautiful white two-tone color, green and white. It looks beautiful on the plate, and it has a great taste too. And this is the first time I've grown this, but I've noticed it's a kale that has just gone to seed really fast, which means it's gone to flower. So in a few weeks' time, this is going to be inedible, really. It's going to want to release its seeds and grow more kale. Yes, I could just leave this and potentially, those seeds will drop into the soil and produce more kale, but we don't live in that perfect world, and a garden sometimes it doesn't quite work out like that. It's very easy with flowers, but I've not had that happen with kale yet. So I would have to sow more seeds to produce more of this lovely variety. Now this is some beautiful Tuscan kale with the red vein there. This plant will last me about 6 months here, and I'll have a beautiful supply of it. But once that time comes to an end, I'll have to sow more seeds and then have another plant. So it takes some work. Same with my lovely curly kale here. However, I've just come across, and luckily enough, got a couple of plants of a kale that just gives me an unlimited supply year after year, and it won't or rarely ever go to flower. This is called Dow Benton's kale. Now, believe it or not, this pumps out kale year round, and you don't have to sow any seeds for it. It's like a tree of kale. It's called a perennial, which means exactly that. It just comes back constantly, and it's hardy, so it lasts through the winter, and I've been eating these leaves for ages. I've only got 2 plants. It adds lovely height and colour to the garden. These were given to me by my good friend Adam, whose garden we visited recently, and he taught us how to protect your garden from slugs, because I was having so much slug damage. Now I noticed this plant actually hasn't got that much slug damage at all, so it seems really hardy, and it's got a delicious flavour and is packed full of vitamins and minerals. But I'm overawed with it. There's so much of it. I need to keep coming up with ways of how to use it other than just steaming it and having it as a salad. So I think I'm going to pick a bunch now and take it to the kitchen and try and make something delicious, and hopefully try and preserve it for a huge amount of time. I've literally pruned this to almost a skeleton-like look of a kale plant, but this will just produce new, beautiful, big, juicy leaves in a matter of days, if not just a week. So I haven't taken that much at all, really. Look how big my basket is. Let's get to the kitchen and think what on earth I'm going to do with it all. Oh, it's a bit windy. Look how much kale there is there. How much would have that cost me at the supermarket? A lot of money, I'm sure. And I'll get the exact same harvest in just a week or two's time. That's how great this variety of kale is. Now, I was contemplating what to make with it. Now, because it's such a big harvest, and because I actually want to preserve this, I think we have to, use some of that amazing Korean cuisine inspiration and make somewhat of a kimchi with it. I've got a load of coriander as well outside, and nasturtium leaves, which are very peppery, wasabi-like, and some rhubarb. I think those 4 ingredients together would be an incredible kimchi. So that's what I'm gonna do. And the good thing about kimchi, not only is it gonna preserve it, it's gonna enhance all these flavors, but you can utilize it in other dishes. So we'll also make something delicious with the kimchi once it's been fermented. And I'm gonna chop everything up pretty fine and get it into a big mixing bowl. Gosh, that was a lot of chopping. What I'm gonna do now is blend up a real flavoursome kimchi-based sauce that's gonna coat everything. So into a little blender, I'm gonna add an onion. I'm also gonna add some ginger and some garlic, plus a dollop of miso and some nori. That's gonna add a taste of the sea flavour. We'll also add some coconut sugar for a little sweetness, some soy sauce, and then blitz that until smooth. It's this thing again, isn't it? I can never get these to work. Someone invent me a good blender. There you go. Oh, that smells intensely good. So what's the next task? I think we're gonna get everything into this big mixing bowl. Hopefully it all fits, along with my pureed onion and beautiful flavoursome mixture here. I'll add my gochugaru, which is the Korean red chili flakes. If you don't have those, you can just use any sort of red chili of your choice. And we'll also add some sesame seeds as well. Then I'm gonna weigh the contents of that bowl and add 3% of the weight in sea salt. That's enough to keep any of the bad bacteria out, but let the good bacteria that's on the skins of the kale and the rhubarb and all the herbs to thrive. All right, so the salt's going in now. That's gonna draw out a load of liquid. To help that, we need to massage it. So I'm gonna wash my hands and give this a real good massage. If you have got a sensitivity to hot stuff, put some gloves on for this step, but my hands are like oven proof. This is stinging my eyes. It's gonna be pungent, but this is gonna taste amazing. I'll wash my hands now and pack this into my sterilized jar. See those juices? That's exactly what we want. Natural brine, saucy brine. I think I've just perfectly measured this. With a little packing, I think this is one complete, perfectly filled jar. To cap off my kimchi, I grab a large nasturtium leaf, or you could just use a cabbage leaf on top, and then we place our weight. This just holds everything beneath the brine that's going to be created during the fermentation process. So my crazy kale kimchi. It's been fermenting for about 3 or 4 weeks actually. After about a week and a half, I put it in the fridge to cool it down slightly, and that will slow the fermentation. It's time to give it a taste now and make something with it. A lot of you guys actually ask me what I serve my ferments with. Now for me, I think a plate isn't complete until it's got something fermented on top of it. It's so good for our gut health. The more I learn about fermented food, the more I want to dive deeper into it. Now kimchi, it stands up on its own. You can just put this with some rice and it would be the most incredible dish. But today I think what I'm going to do is create, you know, the scallion pancakes, those Chinese incredible crispy pancakes. I want to do something like that, but with this. So we're replacing the scallion with my chopped crazy kale kimchi. I think that would be great. But before we get into that recipe, let's give this a taste and see what it's like. Oh wow, look at the rhubarb in that. That is vibrant. What I noticed when you ferment soft things like leaves, they do wilt down an awful lot. It's basically being cooked in that fermentation process. So having things like rhubarb or carrot or daikon radish or radishes or something with a bit more texture and substance to it helps add that crunch. So here it goes, let's have a little taste. Mmm. 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 Oh my God, I could literally eat that whole jar right now. Wow. It's so umami. It blows my mind every time when you put together ingredients for a ferment. There's something that happens in there that enriches that umami-ness and gives it that meatiness and that bold flavor that we all love. So tasty. And this is going to hold up so well in the dish that I'm going to make with it. So into my bowl, I just have some all-purpose organic flour that I'm going to add a touch of baking powder to, a sprinkle of sea salt. We'll mix that up and then I'll make a well in the center and add a little sesame oil plus some water. Mix it all up until it forms a smooth dough. So as you can see, it takes a little bit of kneading. I really want to get a super smooth and elasticated dough. So I'd say about 5 to 10 minutes of kneading. And you want to try and add as minimal flour as possible. So it is sticking to my hands right now, but the more you work the dough, the more that gluten will bind together and it won't be sticky. After kneading, lightly oil the dough and the bowl and cover over with the wet towel and let it rest for about an hour. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is finely chop this kimchi. We want it super fine. We don't want any big pieces that are going to break through the dough. So I just gave the dough a little extra knead and cut it into 4 equal pieces. I'm going to now just lightly oil the work surface. That's going to stop it from sticking as we roll it out, because we don't want to be adding more flour to this. I'm going to roll this into a really thin and long rectangle. I'll then brush over a little sesame oil and spread my chopped kale kimchi throughout the dough before rolling it up into a long sausage. I realized that less is more when it comes to the amount of kimchi that you put inside here. Not only is it really flavoursome and powerful that you don't actually need that much, but also just when it comes to rolling it up, you don't want too much in there because it could burst. After all, I rolled this so thin, and now it's time to roll it up on itself, and that's where you want to try and create as many rolls as possible, because that means an extra layer, and the more layers you get, the flakier the pancake is. So it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of filling poking out. it all gets caramelized in that pan anyway, but just press it down to make it a little thinner. Now in different regions of China, they have it in different thicknesses. So some are really fine and some are a bit more of a cake and fat. Mine's a bit in between at the middle, but I'll just press it down to a little bit thinner and I'll roll out the rest and then we'll get frying. I think the weather's looking okay. I think I'll cook these outside. We'll see what the weather's like once I roll these out, but it'd be lovely to cook these on my cast iron pan on fire, over fire. Well, seeing as it all started off right here with this amazing kale, we might as well cook them in front of the kale. I hope you don't mind, but I must say, look how beautiful and abundant this kale is looking right now. I could make a whole load more kimchi with what's been pumped out, and it's incredible. I hope you don't mind me cooking in front of you. It's going to be lovely, I promise. I've used this kale to a spectacular standards. I think I've made it worthwhile collecting so much. So we want to cook these over a medium to low heat. I got to be careful on my fire that I don't burn them, so I'll be using it like a piano. I'll be moving it to a cooler area. Hopefully the rain doesn't dampen our spirits. Let's get them cooking. All right, let's get this on. Try and flatten it a bit more. The rain is coming down, guys, but it's okay. Typical raining in Wales. We've hardly had any good sun this year, guys. It's July and we've probably had about 4 good days of sun all year. I'm just letting you know I will be leaving Wales in the next few years and starting my eco retreat abroad. So if you know any good areas of land in either Spain, Italy, Portugal, Jamaica, somewhere else in the Caribbean, I'm all ears. I would love to bring something beautiful to your place. And I need sun. I want to grow food all year round. Yeah, boy. It may be raining, but it's not stopping us. We're pretending like it's summer. All right, this is looking lovely and crisp and flaky. That's the most important thing, despite the rain. I'm gonna get this on a tray and just underneath there whilst we cook the rest to keep them dry, and then we'll serve and taste. Last one in. All right, whilst that last one's cooking, I'm gonna chop up some green onion tops really fine, and that's what I'm serving my crazy kale kimchi pancakes with, along with a little soy sauce dressing. All right, let's serve up. Get out of this rain as well. That looks incredible. Oh, so many layers. Oh yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh my God. That dough is just so light and crisp, so many layers, but you're just hit with this power from that kimchi, the crazy kale kimchi. So simple to make, the power of fermentation just taking flavor to new levels, and inside this crispy layered pancake. Oh, unbelievable. Obviously, full written recipe as always is on the website. Click the link beneath this video. I am going to be making this crazy kale kimchi all the time from now on, because this is sensational. Wow.